Hey, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Aisha.
My name is Lyah.
This is Two Real Chicks podcast. So today we're kind of doing a little different. You all, whoa, can't talk. You all will be looking at this live. If you're seeing it live, if you pop in, what's up into the playback? Hello. Today's
Hello.
episode, we're going to be talking about dating. We're going to be talking about relationships. We're going to talk about virginity. We're talking about deal breakers. This episode is going to be loaded. And trust me and Lyah have a lot to say. We got a
I got
lot
a
to
lot to
say.
say. Even outside of this episode, I have a lot to say, but we're not gonna get in. Anyway.
We got a lot to talk about. So first, we're gonna chime into our Chicks Chime In segment. But before we get into that, make sure you are following our social media. Our social medias. That is our
She
TikTok,
can't talk.
right? At all. Our TikTok at Two Real Chicks is spelled just like over here on our YouTube channel. Also, make sure you're following all of my socials and Lyah's socials down in the
Excuse me.
description box. The direct links are there, so don't say y'all can't find it because they there. They're there.
Right. If you don't want to follow us, just say that.
Just
You
say
know,
that.
you gotta be rude.
Mm-mm. So let's get into this. All right. So Lyah don't know what our Chicks Chiming segment is about today. She wanted to be surprised. So here we go. I was watching The Breakfast Club today, and today was Angelique Yee's day where she gives her advice, right?
Yeah. Ask
So
Eve.
this girl called in and she wanted some advice on her situation with her parents. Her parents have been together for over 20 years, and ooh, it's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. Her parents has been together over 20 years, and her mother has dementia. And, she's a little older now, and her dad is a little older as well. Now, when they were younger and were able to, go back and forth to their home country, that they would. And recently, her father went over to back to their home country, and he been acting a little weird. Now,
He met
backstory.
somebody.
Listen. His daughter would help him with his phone. Y'all know old people sometimes be acting like they don't know how to use their phone. So before he went to, back to their home country, he was not as caring of the phone. Like, he didn't care. The phone could sit in the room all day and he wouldn't touch it, sit on the kitchen counter all day, he wouldn't touch it. And if somebody walked past, he wouldn't mind. But this time recently he came back and has become very protective of said phone, to the point where he won't even ask his daughter how to do certain things. Like, he'll ask her, but she wouldn't be able to go be like, pick up the phone. Okay, dad, like, this is how you scroll on Facebook today. He's been very protective. The daughter had picked up the phone one day when he was like away from it for a second, and went into the bathroom and read his text messages just to see what was going on. She saw inside of the messages that he's been sending money to someone, a female, and also has been communicating with her. Now, what's
Told you.
crazy about this whole situation is she had been giving her father money because he kept saying, "Oh, I just keep having these expenses pop up. And she's been giving her father money, but the money that she's giving her father, he is sending to this
Oh
woman.
hell no, baby. Your expenses gonna be keep popping up.
So this was her question, right? What do she do? Her mother has the dementia, so sometimes she ain't always there, and she can't really comprehend a lot of stuff, like little basic things like she struggles with. So she's like, well, do I address it with my mom, or do I confront my dad, because I'm the one who's giving this girl money?
Right.
So Lyah, what would you tell her?
Fuck her daddy up. Um.
Oh Lord.
So this is so loaded. First of all, it's really, really sad when somebody has a disease that impairs their memory and their like
Mm-hmm.
thinking and motor skills and all that kind of stuff. It's sad and it takes a
Oh,
toll.
hold on. I got one more thing to add to that, right? When you said that about the diseases. He had a problem with his kidneys some couple of years back, and before her mother had got diagnosed with dementia, she was there for her husband through and through with no issue. So, just to add that in there to, fuel to the fire.
Um, okay. So having medical, like your parents getting older and them, the older you get, the more of a chance you have of like developing certain things and stuff like that. That's hard
Mm-hmm.
already. And then if you have one partner that's healthy and then you have another partner who's on the decline, That's difficult as well. But under no circumstances should you be, out here communicating with other women and sending them money, but then lying to me saying that you have expenses keep popping up. God damn it, she is the expense.
Right.
She is the expense that is popping up that I'm having to foot the bill for. I'm not sending you anything else. If she wants to be with you, like it's like y'all have a sugar daddy type of relationship. That's
Right.
really what that is. And like this reminds me of what was her name? I think it was B. Scott,
Mm-hmm.
I believe.
Oh
She was
yeah.
she was like a restaurateur. She had like she was very well known, um, very well known woman. I forgot what she did. But she caught dementia.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe I don't know if she died or
She
not.
passed.
Yeah. So she caught dementia, and her husband ended up moving his girlfriend in
Mm-hmm.
right like into the home that he and his wife shared. And everybody had a whole lot to say about it, but they were like, you don't know what their agreement was beforehand. You don't know if she said, hey, if I ever get to a point where I am in a
Mm-hmm.
vegetable state, or if I ever get to a point where, I'm just not functioning the way that I used to, please move on. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? You don't know what that conversation was.
But before she even passed, I
But
think he had moved that girl in the house and she was
yeah,
still in
yeah.
there.
She was still there and they had moved in and did all that. And to me, I just feel like when you get married, you take those vows and you hold them, you keep those promises until the very end, until they're dying, their last breath. And that's such a morbid thing to think about.
But
But
it's
like that's
true.
what I think about when I think about like people being married and people taking vows. So like I said, vowels. But anyways, when you make those lifelong promises, and I feel like, you know, I'm going to be there with you in your sickness and in health.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're no longer here, I'm going to take the necessary time I need to grieve and to get myself together. And if I want to get back out here and start dating, then I will. Most people don't, because it's like I had everything that there was to have in a person, and there's nobody else that will be able to give me that ever again. And that's understandable. But I feel that like I would confront my dad about the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was being nosy. Probably shouldn't have been being nosy and going through his phone. But you taking my money and you sending it to this girl, and then
Mm-hmm.
you're lying to me as to like why you need it.
Right.
You're saying I have this expense that just keep popping up and blah 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 blah. Like I don't have money to just be sending you so you can send to other bitches. Like no, I don't have that.
Right.
So I'm confronting you and I'm going to ask you, hey, what are you doing? What is going on? Why are you taking the money that I'm giving you and why are you sending it to other people? Why is this a thing? What
And
is your
then for him
issue?
to, before this trip, to act like he's just so ignorant to the phone, and then you get back and you're wirelessly sending money overseas. Like, you not as dumb as you're trying to make me think that you are.
And not
Like,
even that, like my mom is sitting here, hanging on, like, having days where she's alert and she's lucid,
mm-hmm.
and she remembers, and then have days where she doesn't. And if that's taking a toll on you, then say that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But don't then you're communicating with this girl. You're having like a sugar daddy type mentality. Why are you taking my money and why are you sending it to this woman?
Mm-hmm.
But lying to me as if it's an expense. Like I just have money to be giving you. I wouldn't give him any more money.
I wouldn't
I
either.
would cut him off financially. Like hey, I don't know what you got going on, but I'm not here to help fund your sugar daddy festivities. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what you got going on, but that's not what I'm here for. My mom is
Mm-hmm.
sitting here with this disease that's going to eventually take her mind completely, and you're sitting up here worrying about expenses, and you're communicating with this girl telling her God knows what. Like, come on now, like
Right.
that. I don't know. That I would just not. I would
Yeah, I
confront him and let
agree.
him know about that because that's not cool.
Right. And then with both of them being older, you also don't want to be like, oh my God, like I don't want to mess with my dad no more. But it's like you are literally taking the money I'm giving you, thinking that it's for something serious. It's something that you truly
Yeah.
need, and you're taking advantage of me as your child. Like that's what I don't like about it. Like it's one thing for you to cheat, but it's another thing for you to turn around and be lying to me just so you can
Right.
help somebody else out. Like that's what I would be messed up about.
And then like that's another thing too. Y'all have to be careful with family and like giving them things and stuff like that. Especially when it comes to like the family that, you know, you felt like in your heart of hearts wouldn't do you like that. Never put nothing past nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Because family, when they feel like you got it, they gonna bleed you dry. When they feel like
Yep.
when they cause like I know you know, I have like my sister, for instance, she does hair. She does multiple heads a day. You know, she might do 2 heads in a day. She might do 10 or 15 heads in one week, equaling up to like $2,000. They see that, oh, you know, I heard you making money. I heard you do. Now you also heard I pay bills. You
Right.
also heard I have grown up responsibilities. So you can get your ass on my face and stop trying to count my coins. You can do
Right.
that. And you can stop asking me for money when you have all these other adults around you that's very, very much able-bodied and can work and can afford to foot the bills just like you can. If you're the only one that has to, if you're the only one footing the bills around here in your household, then you need to be the only one staying there. You need to be telling people to move their feet and get out. Because there's no way in the world why I should have to call people that do not live in my household every single time a bill is due because y'all don't want to pay y'all's part. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And that's just, I say all that to say you have to be careful when it comes to sending people money, family money, and stuff like that. And then when you find out that they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing with the money and they're doing something the opposite, cut that off immediately. Don't try to get an understanding. No, the understanding is right there. It's right there in black and white. It's right there in your face. There's nothing else that you need to understand.
Mm-hmm.
It's right there. Just cut them off
So
because they're gonna burn their bridges with you by doing that alone.
right. So that was our Chicks Chime In segment for the day. Let's get into the actual meat of the podcast. If you guys are watching this right now and you just want to be able to skip ahead to stuff, I'm going to start pinning down the timestamps in the pinned comment. I feel like that'd be a little bit more easier because some people may not want to hear the Chicks Chime In segment.
Right.
But if that's something that you want to do, it'll be in the pinned comments. So, ooh, child, yeah, take it away, girl.
Okay, so a couple weeks ago, I was talking to my friend from high school. Um, we don't talk a whole lot because college and life and shit. But she and this guy that she's been talking to for about a year, they finally made it official. They've put a stamp on it. They've had a title, but they have been exclusive for a good little minute now. You know what I'm saying? She met him after getting out of a serious relationship. I think that lasted about a year or 2 years or something like that. But she met him after that. Um, and they had started talking, and then one thing led to another, and he eventually kind of moved into her house, if you will. He had his own apartment and things like that. He kept his apartment up, but he ended up staying with her for the majority of the time. And obviously they ended up becoming sexually intimate and things like that, so sex kind of complicated some things. But she was like, I was talking and I asked him one day, like, what are we doing? What is this? Am I your girlfriend? Do you want to be with me? Do you see yourself with me? What are your plans? Because if we're just here to be roommates and we're just here to, do what we do, then we need to move on and we need to find other people because I'm not here for that.
Right.
His whole thinking was, I bought you a phone. I'm here every day. I do this. I do that. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, we're together. But she's like, that means nothing. Like, I could buy my own phone. I could put myself on my own plan. All the stuff you do for me, I could do for myself. If I don't have a verbal confirmation of what we are, then what you do for me physically means nothing. Because it's one thing for you to say that. You can be a whole side piece and have somebody paying your bills and putting you on a phone plan.
Right.
But that doesn't make you the main. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you're exclusive until when? Until what point? Like, what are some things that people do when they're exclusive versus what they do when they have officially said that we're in a relationship? And like, is exclusivity, is the definition of being exclusive, is it subjective? Does it vary between two people? And what are the conversations that you have when you're talking about what you are as like with the role that you play in a person's life. Like, am I your girlfriend? Is this a situationship? Is this a friends with benefits? Like, what conversations do you have when you're trying to put a label on it? And are labels important?
Mm-hmm.
That's loaded. It's loaded, but you know.
Well, okay. Let me start with what do I think exclusively like means to be exclusive. Now, I can only come from experience, so I guess I'll just start with my current relationship, who I'm with now. So Anthony and I, when we first was in that like the talking stage, and for us, what the talking stage was getting to know each other, and there was no physical touching, physically intertwining, nothing of the sort, not a kiss, nothing of that. We were just talking, right? Once we had started to become quote unquote exclusive, that was after we had started talking about deep stuff. And like in that stage, he was still sleeping with people sexually, and I was still sleeping with people sexually. But we hadn't yet said that we were official. We knew that what we had was going to go into something because that's what we talked about, right? And when we got official, we cut people off, respectfully cut them off. Some people disrespectfully, child. And we started to do things that couples do, having sex, meeting family, all that type of stuff that goes under that umbrella, right? But when you're in the exclusive stage, you owe, well, for me at least, I owed no loyalty to him. Like we hadn't had a physical touch, physical connection, but it was on the grounds of as long as we both are understanding that like we still want to do this thing, we still want to see where this goes, we still want to take this
Right.
opportunity with each other, we'll go somewhere with it.
Yeah.
But as of right now, we're not touching each other. So if you need to get your little rocks off, get your little rocks off. But
Right.
once we're official, you do anything. We gonna go from something to nothing in a
Real
heartbeat.
quick.
So I feel like when you're exclusively talking with somebody and exclusively trying to learn who this person is, you have to have communication. And it cannot be any gray lines. Things cannot be blurred. And sex is a big thing. You can't just go and start having sex because you like this person mentally.
Yeah.
No. Mm-mm. You got to give it time. You got to work into that. And once you're official, because for me, I don't like having sex quickly. Anthony and I did not have sex until we met. And like we knew this was okay, this is gonna be mine, you mine. And we were together once we decided to do it. But if this is like a one night stand type thing, okay, that's just what this is. But if we're talking and trying to get to that point of being each other's, I can't physically touch you yet because I don't know if once I get it, am I gonna be crazy for you, after that? Because who child, you can be digmatized. That's the thing.
Hell
That's
yeah, that is
real.
definitely a thing. Stigmatization is
Mm-hmm.
is definitely a thing. I also feel like too, labels are very much important. I know people say that when you put titles on things, it complicates things. No, it doesn't.
It makes things
Titles
real.
clearly define the line that is not to be crossed. It defines
Mm-hmm.
the role that I play in your life. It defines my importance
Oh,
in your life.
oh, that's another thing. You just may remember something. Hold on, you just may remember something. If I haven't put a title on you, don't think that you can give me title like demands. You can't sit here and tell me,
Yeah.
oh, you can't talk to him. Don't be on the phone. Don't be texting another dude. I had a dude laying in my bed and I rolled over to check my phone. Someone had texted me, good night, beautiful. And the conversation just kept going from there because I wasn't ready to go to sleep. Shit, I want to text. I want to talk. And this dude's sitting here
Okay.
beside me on some, damn, that's crazy. You really gonna talk to him? And I'm right here.
I
We
sure
ain't
am.
doing nothing. We
But
ain't even
fucking.
touched. Like we just laying in this bed. Like that's it. You think there's more to this?
And
In
even
your
if we
feelings,
did,
okay?
you know, you already knew what I came down here to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
You already knew what it was. So there's
Mm-hmm.
no reason for you to act surprised, or there's no reason for you to try to act like you
Mm-hmm.
had no idea or no inclination of what it was he was doing. Like I feel like, but I agreed with her in the sense of like, hey, you're telling me you're doing all this, you're doing all that, um and that's what made us, girlfriend and boyfriend. Or you're calling me your girlfriend but you haven't told me a thing. How do you even know that I feel the same way? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like communication
Communication.
and comprehension.
Mm-hmm.
Comprehension mostly, because you can communicate something all day, but if don't then you ain't got the same understanding as the next person, then it's pointless. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Communication and comprehension is something that is very much necessary. Because if we're sitting here and we're having a conversation and I'm telling you like, hey, I ain't really feeling this like that, but you in your mind have made it up. You've come up with this thing in your mind that, we're together and this is my partner, but I ain't feeling the same way. You're gonna be like, okay, well, when did this happen? And why didn't you talk to me? That's gonna be the first thing you ask, like, why didn't you say something? I feel
Right.
like I'm wasting my time, blah 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 blah. And it's just like, for me, when you're exclusive, I don't know. I feel like exclusive is a subjective definition, maybe, because you could be exclusively friends with benefits with somebody, but you can still be dating other people, because that's
Right.
just what the relationship is. You know what I'm saying? Because I know, like, a lot of people, you may not want to give your body to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you're dating other people doesn't mean that you're sleeping with everybody. But you may say, I am exclusively sleeping with you. That
Yep.
keeps a lot of confusion down. So that way, if you was to get pregnant, if you was to catch something, you know who you were sleeping with.
Yep.
you know. So it may be subjective, like it may
Yeah,
vary
cause,
depending on the person and depending on the conversation that they have. But I think
cause,
that that is
oh shit.
that's a conversation that you have to have, and you have to be careful when you start being physical with each other, when you start
Mm-hmm.
having sex, when you start doing things that couples do, that couples do when they're in like the later stages of their relationship. You guys are moving in together, you're living together, and you've been living together for over a year. Like, okay, this is different. We're
Yeah.
roommates who lay in the same bed, who have sex with each other, but we're not saying that we're girlfriend and boyfriend. That's confusing for us.
Yeah.
Never mind the people around us. That's just confusing for us in general, because we don't even know what the fuck we doing. We doing something, but we don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there, you have to be able to set boundaries. For number one, if you are just now meeting somebody after getting out of a serious relationship, I wouldn't be so quick to hop into it. And I'm not saying that she did. I'm not saying she just hopped into it quickly. But what I'm saying is, you're not about to be over my house 3 and 4 and 5 nights out of the week. Like, we're not doing that, because I may not be as comfortable with you being here.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, it took a minute for them to start doing anything sexual and stuff like that, which is cool. But even still, even if we are, you know, doing the horizontal mambo, um, you still ain't gonna be staying at my house multiple days out of the week. Like, you're still not gonna be
Right.
doing that.
Like my ex, in the beginning, we weren't together. We weren't together for a long time. Like it was a while, but we was having sex, and I was exclusively only opening up my legs to him, and I was letting him know, like, are you doing anything? Like, because if you are, you need to tell me, And he would
Mm-hmm.
be like, oh, you don't need to be worried about that. Yes, I do, because you keep telling me I'm gonna just slide the condom off. Okay, no, you're not, because I'm not
Cause
trying
you
to have
slide, you
sex with
slide
Keisha,
anything up
Talisha,
in
and all the
me.
other bitches. I don't want to have sex with them. No, that I didn't sign up for that. I signed up to have sex with you and only you. But you having sex with all these multiple people, and now I'm stuck trying to figure out, do I need to go get a test or not?
Mm-hmm.
That's like, you have to have communication. The boundaries have to be set, because the blurry lines, ooh, child, that's some murky water to be in, and don't nobody
But
want to be in
condoms,
those.
condoms do not protect you from all diseases either. Like, condoms, they don't protect you from genital warts or herpes or anything like that. So you could still be having sex with all those girls and not knowing, not even know
Mm-hmm.
what he's been giving you. But, like, I don't know. I just feel like that's the biggest thing. We keep saying the same old thing, but I feel like that's the biggest thing. And it's just like, what do you, when do the lines cross? You know what I'm saying? I feel like when do you say something? When do you feel like the lines are being crossed? In my opinion, the lines are being crossed when one person is starting to feel a little bit stronger than the other, or when one person has feelings and they're starting to show those feelings, and the other person doesn't know about it. That's when lines are being crossed. We're
Mm-hmm.
not in exclusive territory. We are now officially entering relationship territory, where you want it to be more than what it is. Like, it's no longer a situationship. It's no longer a friends with benefits type of relationship. It's not that. We're not just dating anymore. Like, we're not just casually dating, I should say, because you're still dating when you're in a relationship. You're not casually dating anymore. We are, you're trying to take this a step further, and you want me to be your girlfriend and or boyfriend or whatever. Like, you want me to be your mate in a relationship now. So that's when I think the lines cross,
Mm-hmm.
for me personally.
I feel like once a person feels like they have feelings, you have to say something. You can't. be
The
sitting there,
person
or
with the
even if you
feelings has to
think,
say something.
yeah, or even if you think that the other person has feelings, you have to say something, because you don't want to be stuck in that in between. I'm not sure, it could be mate. Like, you don't want to be stuck in that. You have to say something. And like for me, when me and Anthony really started to be like, damn, like we really, like I'm really rocking with this person.
Like,
Like,
I might like you a little bit, ugly dude. But
yeah, you
anyway,
may be a little something to me. I may feel a little something if you don't text me in time. You know, like you
or
gotta
you be
speak up to
ignoring my
that person.
messages. I might want to cuss you out. But that, I mean, it's
Hmm.
fine. It's cool. It's fine. We're fine. It's fine.
Right. So for me, I have to have that. I have to have someone telling me how they feel every single step of the way, because I don't want
Yep.
to mess up something in your
Yep.
head about me when I'm not knowing. What if I be
Hmm.
like, damn, he fine as fuck. And then you hit me with the, hey, watch your mouth. And I'm like, you not my nigga. Like,
And also too, like, if the guy's the one that's spearheading the relationship, like if he
hmm.
started it and he initiated it and stuff like that. Cause like for a while, with me and my friend with benefits,
Leah got a friend, y'all.
like I initiated the beneficial part of the relationship. Excuse me, wow, I was not expecting the cough all in the mic. I apologize. I initiated the beneficial part of the relationship. Yeah, I did. I know. Um, Cause I mean, we knew what we want. We was talking about it. Shit, we was gonna eventually end up doing it anyway. Might as well. We
Somebody got to
grown.
bite the bullet.
We
Somebody.
grown. We know what we want to do. This ain't no goddamn. We ain't kids. You know what I'm saying? We ain't. We
Right.
don't owe nobody nothing. We're not. We're not in relationships with anybody. I had literally just, when I say just, gotten out of one, like 2 months. Like it hadn't even been. It hadn't even been 2 months, y'all. Say what you want. I don't give a fuck. I did it. It
I
is
mean,
what it
you
is.
grown. You
It had been.
grown.
Yeah. It had been like a month and a half, but I had mentally and physically and emotionally left that relationship. I was just there. I was
As
just
she should have.
there. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about that relationship in maybe another episode or something. But
Who
anyway,
child?
because that was something else. But like I had already just left that relationship anyways, and emotionally, I just wasn't getting what I needed from that. But like, um, we had the conversation about it, and there was some attraction there. He thought I was cute. I thought he was a nice dude, and I hadn't had any penetration in a while,
Right.
and I wanted to be, underneath somebody. So we,
Right. Come slap my
so,
hand. Okay.
so, so I got underneath somebody, and I'm so fucking awkward. Anyway,
We're gonna fix the friend. We're gonna fix it. It's
I'm
okay.
so fucking awkward. I got underneath somebody, and it's been that way for about a year now. But we had already established, like, hey, even if this were to stop and you didn't want to do it anymore, like, we could still be cool. We could still be friends, and it's fine, you
Right.
know. But like, what was I about to say? I don't even remember what I was about to say. But like, we knew what it was that we were doing because we had that thing. But like, when people would ask us, so what are you two? Like, what are y'all doing? Like, what's going on? I look at him like, what are we doing? What you got going on? What are we doing here?
Right.
I look at him to answer because it's like, you know, though he didn't initiate the sexual part of the relationship, but
Mm-hmm.
I still look at him like, hey, what we doing? Balls in your court. I'm leaving the ball in your court
So
to
I got
figure
a
out what it is you
question.
want to do. No, the answer is no. I'm just playing.
Yes, it is. You have to answer. Could you date someone that is less experienced with you in sex?
Hell, motherfucking no, because I ain't experienced myself. I
It's
be listen.
the same for me. Like I can't do it,
Let
y'all.
me let me let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Because sometimes, because I've had enough sex before, like in the last relationship I was in, obviously he was the one that took my virginity.
He took it away. Oh
I don't like the
yeah.
word take because that sounds like he just snatched it. I gave
She
him my
gave it.
virginity,
She handed
whatever.
it to him.
So I shouldn't have because he didn't give a fuck.
Right.
Anyways, fuck
We're gonna
him,
talk about exes, y'all, in another episode, probably
fuck
in
him.
November.
Um, that'd be a good Valentine's Day episode. Anyways, so he was the first one that took my virginity. We had sex enough. It wasn't enough to my liking because, quite honestly, like you know, um, I had days where I would just be like a horn dog, and I would want And I would just want it. And it's like it's normal. You know, you're a human being, you're a woman, you're a man. When you want to have sex, when you want that part of your, when you know what I'm saying, when you want that
Mm-hmm.
need to be met, you want that need to be met. But like, you know, I don't know enough. I don't know a whole lot, and I can't teach you stuff because I barely know shit.
Yeah, I agree.
So, you know, for me personally, then there are times like if I'm used to a person, you know, and it doesn't really irritate me too much to have sex and stuff like that. There are times where I just may really want somebody to get in here and just know what they're doing to get me where I need to be. If you don't know what you're doing, that's gonna kill my vibe. Like no, like sometimes I may not want penetration. I may just want an oral exam, a
Right.
good old oral exam, making sure everything is everything. You don't know how to do that. Nope.
Right.
And I don't want a battery operated mouth. I want, you know, human. Anyways, y'all know what I'm saying. So for me, no, I don't think so.
I agree. I agree. For me, I would definitely need somebody that is more experienced than me because, okay, I'm going to just say it. I'm just say it.
She's a
It's not
freak.
attractive to me for a man to be less experienced than me. I don't like that. I want them to be the more experienced one. I have to have it because I'm not that experienced. I've only had sex with a couple of people. So many that is a couple I can count on one hand. So I want that. I have to have that because I don't want to teach you. I don't. Mm-mm. Now, if I'm doing it with you, like my boyfriend, right? We've been together 2 years. Oh my God, it's so good to say that it is real. We've been together 2 years. And when we first started dating, like I had to get used to him. He had to get used to me. Obviously, you know, that learning of each other's bodies. And once I was able to learn him, I'm like, I couldn't teach someone how to properly do me if they already didn't know how to do what I need to be done. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I have to have you to know a little bit more than me. Fuck a little bit. You need to be experienced. Fuck that. You have to be experienced. I have to have it.
But here's the thing with experience though. You get people that are experienced, and sometimes they don't want to deal with the person who is not as experienced as them.
Mm-hmm.
And so there lies an issue where it's just like, okay, well, I don't want to deal with somebody who's not as experienced as me, or who is less experienced than me, rather. But you don't want to deal with me because I'm not as experienced as you need me to be. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's always an issue. And then also, too, sometimes experienced people take you too fast.
Mm-hmm.
They do things that you're not comfortable with. Well, you
But
said
that's
you
when
wanted
you
to
talk. Because
explore. I
me
know,
and
right,
Anthony,
right.
we talked. Like, we had an understanding of what I like. And, like, even today, like, if we're having sex, I'm telling him, like, I don't like that. Mm-mm. And I'll stop. And I'll stop him from doing whatever that is. Like, you have to say in sex, like, I don't like that. Mm-mm. That didn't feel good to me. That hurt. You have to say that in sex. Because if not, you going to be sitting there like a fucking frog in a log, looking at
Yeah.
him, looking at you, looking at each other. Like, you got to speak up.
You also have to be comfortable with the person that you're with as well, experienced or not. Even if y'all were
Mm-hmm.
newbies and you wanted to explore together, if you're not comfortable with said person, then you're not going to want to do certain things with them. I know after a while with the dude that I was dating, it started like sex just started to get, your body will tell you if you're not physically attracted to a person anymore.
Yeah.
And I had posted a thing on TikTok that was talking about one of the most embarrassing things that has happened to you when you do the do or whatever. But like, your body will tell you when you're not attracted to anybody anymore. Like when he would mention something about sex, I was just like,
Lynn hit him with that. Mm-mm.
mm. Hitting with the like no, I'm not feeling it. And then like, I wasn't being satisfied, but that also comes satisfaction also comes with you knowing your own body as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to explore it and learn it, and it's still a working process. But like, sometimes you just want somebody who knows a woman's body to get in there and like do what they do what needs to be done, so that way it's not us trying to figure it out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But that comes with comfortability as well. Like, if you're comfortable with a person and you're comfortable doing all that extra stuff with them that you probably wouldn't have done with anybody else, then by all means do that. But have the conversation first and say, hey, let's just start with
Mm-hmm.
the simple stuff. You know what I'm
Ain't
saying?
nothing
And
simple as
then
sex, girl. This shit is all complicated.
No,
It's
no.
not
You
simple.
know the basic
Mm-hmm.
stuff, the simple stuff. Start with that first, and then the more we do this and the more comfortable I get, the more we can explore.
Yeah.
But that's
So would you call that a deal breaker for you?
um
Like a less
probably
experienced guy?
probably a deal breaker.
Like I
Um,
couldn't see you after talking about what we were talking about your ex. I couldn't see you being with someone now that's experienced that has the same amount of experience as your ex that didn't like hit your spot or whatever, you know?
cause like and this is the thing. The sex was great.
But was it great only because you hadn't experienced it before, or was it great because you just made the most of that?
But see, this is the thing. That's what I was just about to get into. It was great for me because he was the first person I had ever had sex with.
Right,
That's the thing. I haven't had enough sex to be like, oh, no, his sex was mediocre. You
right.
know what I'm saying? Like I haven't had that, so I don't. I'm saying that for me, it was decent.
Mm-hmm.
It felt good to me.
Right.
Um, but
Because I
that,
know. Oh, let me tell you a little small story time, okay? Y'all about to get some exclusive tea. So when I had sex for the first time, I was like, oh my God, like I don't know if I want to do that again. The guilty doubt you
yes,
have
yes,
after.
the shit was terrible.
Yeah. So then the second time that we did it, I was like, I can do this. I can do this. Third time, I'm ready. I'm okay, let's do this. I'm initiating the shit. Fourth time. By the fourth time, I'm like, I don't think he doing it right. Then I'm starting to talk to my ex best friend, and I'm like, does this supposed to feel like that? Does he supposed to be doing this? Then like you're not getting in detail because I need to
Yeah,
know. When the
exactly.
By the time that I had my second sexual partner, I knew for a fact what was going on. It was not mind blowing explosions, fireworks, and all that shit. It wasn't that. So maybe by the time you get to your second person, you will be like, okay. Then you could compare. You would have something to compare it to. And then you may be like, I don't think that I was supposed to be doing that. Or maybe he wasn't supposed to be doing that. Maybe he should have been hitting it like that. Like, you'll start to really be able to compare. And so for me, that's what it was. It was definitely like okay, I know when he did that and he did that, I want this. So the next guy has to have that, or he has to be able to do that. Because you'll be able to learn what you like, you know?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And like the
Mm-hmm.
thing with that is like, and then you were talking so much, I forgot I was about to say. God damn it, shit. God damn you, Aisha. Um, like, yeah, but he was the only guy that I had ever had sex with, so it's just kind of like for
Mm-hmm.
me, that's what it felt like he was supposed to be doing at the time.
Right.
And your experience will come with either if you have the same partner and you all learn together, or if you decide you break up and you have multiple partners, your experience will come either way.
Right.
But I don't have anything to come. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. The first about 4 or 5 times that I had sex, I didn't really like it because it hurt, and we weren't doing it on a consistent basis. Now I've heard like, oh, it's not supposed to hurt. Like it's not supposed to hurt going in. Like it's not supposed to be like that. If it's hurting, then that means you're not lubricated enough, and blah 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 blah. And that could have very well been the case. You know what I'm saying? Like to him, I may have felt like I was wet enough. You know, this is
Oh,
really
do you watch that one lady on TikTok that's like a sexologist? And she be like giving like sex tips and
I
things like that.
I watch a lot of people who give sex tips on TikTok. I
Well,
don't
she's like
follow
an
them, but I do
older
be
black
watching them.
lady.
I don't shit. I don't girl. I don't see color. I don't know.
But well, you'll be able to hear it by her voice. But she was saying for a woman to be fully ready for sex and fully stimulated down there, she needs at least 20 minutes of foreplay.
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard
Mm-hmm.
that from
And
a
I
lot of
feel like
different
it's true
people. Yeah,
because
I used to say, listen, before. Okay, let me just say, I wasn't a dumb virgin. What? We doing updates? What the fuck? I was not a dumb virgin, meaning I wasn't oblivious or like it's not like I didn't know what happens during sex. Like it's not like I didn't know about sucking a penis or somebody going down on you and stuff like that. Not like I didn't know about that because you have a lot of like we were around a lot of people who were experiencing those things. You know what I'm saying? Who were
mm-hmm.
already having sex. Um, so they would talk about it, and then you know Girl, that's my ringtone.
Oh, that's from his medicine alarm.
Um, but like I wasn't a dumb virgin, but I was not an experienced virgin. I didn't know how to do any of those things. So, but I used to say all the time, like, hey, I wish you would do a little bit better with foreplay. I really, really wish that you would make it your business to try and make, get me to where you are, because they come in ready on go. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like they be like they little man be already up and ready to go. He be ready to do his thing, and then me and my little friend, we like
Waiting.
we ain't even know you was fun to be on that when you got here. We thought we was fun to chill and you was fun to warm up and we was fun to ease into it.
Right.
You want to just pound my goddamn walls loose and shit, and it's like I ain't even here. Like I'm not even at that point. And so foreplay, and this is the thing, like foreplay doesn't always start in the bedroom, and I've heard a lot of people say
Oh
that,
no,
like
it don't.
it starts, you know if you're living together, for instance, or like if you're talking to somebody, it starts with you texting, it starts with you,
Mm-hmm.
making little gestures, to let her know, like, hey, I'm thinking about you, whatever, whatever, whatever. And if you do that, it could potentially lead to,
Girl, let me tell you.
you
Let me
know,
tell you. If me and Anthony wake up, we touching on each other, we feeling each other, and it ain't even just like a sexual touch. He could brush past my damn ear, and I'm like, ooh, okay, okay. Or he washing dishes, I'll come up behind him and hug him. Little stuff like that. You already know. By the end of this day, somebody gonna get knocked out. Okay. So
yeah.
it's really like little stuff. Like if Anthony clean the entire kitchen after I had done cleaned the kitchen all week, that's a turn on because I'm like, oh my god,
See,
you
it be
just
it be look, yeah, and like they
yeah.
always think that it has to be like you got to come up behind me and grab my ass or something. I ain't got no ass, but still, like you have to come up behind me and do that. Like, no, that's not what I mean. What I mean
Mm-hmm.
is if you do little, like, okay, say you seen something at a store and that something made you think of me. Oh, I got you this because this and that, like a just because gift. Just because gifts are
Yeah.
something that is the best way to get some. Like, this is
Mm-hmm.
free game, people. If there are any men that drop by, this is free game. Cause like if you do it and it's not even that you're trying to get some, it's just a simple fact of like you thought enough of me to get me something that you seen in a store. You saw something that reminded you of me and you decided to get it. Or you felt like I was going to not be in the mood to do something today, so you maybe cleaned the house or you cooked dinner or you thought enough of me to
Mm-hmm.
order me my favorite meal from a restaurant and have it sent to my job or have it sent to my house so that I wouldn't have to cook anything. Um, like just little stuff like that's the best way to be able to get some. And it's just like that's all a part of.
Shit, my phone fell.
She's just dropping shit. That's all a part of foreplay, and it's like they don't be understanding that. It's just like, dude, but he wasn't in that type. And I feel like people will only do that if they are really feeling you and if they really
Yeah.
trying to rock with you for real. He wasn't really rocking with me. He told me enough times that I heard it, but it's just like, damn,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it takes a little bit of a minute for me. I'm starting to realize, like, if you like, and then for me as well, another way to really get me kind of there, or at least get me a little hot and ready like Little Caesars, if your oral exams are on point, if your oral exams
Mm-hmm.
are good, that's another way to get me too. Because you know, not everybody is pleased
What the
off
fuck
of
was that?
what the fuck, who is shooting. Not everybody is pleased off of you just doing the orals out the mambo.
I
Like
live
if
in
you
the
do,
ghetto. Oh,
like
shit.
like if you are, this is a ghetto ass podcast. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If you are,
We got live sound effects.
ain't it? They ain't no cue, but they here.
I
If
think it
you're
was a
not,
car though.
I
Anthony's going
don't
to
know.
investigate.
If you're if you're not good at oral exams for me, like that's just not gonna. It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work.
Cause my ex, he never gave head, but he always wanted it. He was a
Oh,
getter.
fuck you.
And I was like, I'm not about to do that if you're not
You're a
doing
receiver,
this.
not a giver. Oh no 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 no
Girl, I bit him one day. Cause
no no no
we not
no
doing this.
no. No, 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 no. We ain't doing that. It also got to a point in the last relationship that I was in too, where it was just like I'm starting to do more giving than receiving, and I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes sex a chore. It's just like, damn, I'm the only one. That's you the only one getting pleasure around here. Damn.
Right.
But dating in your 20s is really one of those things where you have to figure it out, and it's probably one of the most confusing but fun things because hopefully by the time you get to your 30s, you already know. Okay, my phone didn't die. I thought my phone died.
I
Um,
had to mute myself. I
like
had to go.
hopefully by the time you get to your 30s, you know what you're looking for. You know what you want sexually. You know what you want in a partner. Because in your 20s is really that age where you figure it out. It's that age where you can fuck up as many times as you need to. Even in your 30s, sometimes you're fucking up still. But like, you know, so yeah, that's that.
I agree. I agree. Well, that was all my topics. Lyah, do you got anything else?
Nope.
Oh, child. Well, this has been another edition of Two Real Chicks podcast. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed it. Don't forget to go down there to the description box. Go
Click
follow
them
our
links in the
TikTok.
description.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Go follow everything, all the links down there. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and thank you guys so much for watching and listening. But I'm Aisha.
I'm Lyah, and we will see you on the next one.
Bye.